Hi, Geoffrey.
Hi, Kerstin, how are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. How is Zambia?
It's too hot.
Yeah,
Very difficult to live either inside or outside the house.
yeah.
You
We
live
have,
in the house, you're dripping sweat.
oh, poor you. We have the
Yeah.
opposite. Our winter is coming.
Ah, ah,
Yeah,
all
thank you
the
for,
best.
thank you. Thank you for coming online. I wanted to quickly talk to you about the stories of Kalingalinga that we did over the last few years.
Okay.
And maybe, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Okay, my name is Geoffrey Phiri. I'm past chairman of the Visual Arts Council. I was chairperson of the Visual Arts Council at the time we initiated the Stories of Kalingalinga. And yeah, I've since stopped working with, I've stopped being chairman, and I'm just freelancing now, and I'm helping with running of the project. Yeah, I'm coordinating the Zambian chapter of the Stories of Kalingalinga, yeah, photograph workshops. Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, my name is Kerstin Hacker. I'm the course leader for, co-course leader for the BA photography, and I've been working on the stories of Kalingalinga with Geoffrey. Some of the Cambridge audiences might have seen the exhibition already. It was in January and February. It was at the Anglia Ruskin University in the Ruskin Gallery. And more recently, it's been shown at the Center of African Studies at Cambridge University. Sadly, because of Corona, it's at the moment in lockdown, but we're hoping to be able to show it again once we are out, once the buildings are back open, and the Center of African Studies can invite guests in again. So for now, we have here the catalogue of Stories of Kalingalinga, and we're going to flick through that while Geoffrey and me talk a little bit about the project. So, Geoffrey, do you want to give a little background about Stories of Kalingalinga, from how it works for the Visual Arts Council in Zambia, and then I give a little bit of background as well from this side.
Okay. Stories of Kalingalinga, initially, the idea was to tell the story as from our own lenses, in inverted commas. We said there's so much, misunderstanding of what really goes on down here. So we thought, why don't we book on a project? And Stories of Kalingalinga came up. We said, okay, Kalingalinga is within the vicinity of Lusaka, and yeah, so many things came to play, and that's the reason we chose Kalingalinga, and because of developments that are happening there, the transformation of the city of Lusaka, and how that how do you say how that plays on the Zambian public, and just showing the story of Zambia as seen through our own eyes, through our own lenses per se.
Mm.
And we collaborated with Kerstin, and the story is history now. We moving on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, for me as well, kind of, I think Kalingalinga, for the people that can't imagine Kalingalinga is a high density area within Lusaka. So it's a place where so the many of the workers would live, the working poor would live, and I think and it's quite central to Lusaka, and as so many areas in so many cities in all over the world, it's a prime area for gentrification and for the influence of foreign money, and it's very, very visible in Kalinga how that shift from being a very working class or a workers area to an area that becomes increasingly desirable is really happening in front of people's eyes. The modern building are slowly encroaching, and in a way what we captured through the stories of Kalingalinga was really the last bits of the working on how Kalingalinga used to be for a long time.
And
Yeah.
and being the person that is on the ground here, it gives very good reading, very interesting reading, that actually what we thought we had started and we're done with it has ended up, has actually come up as it was just a scratch of what a bigger project would come. And yeah, it would be very interesting to notice the changes that have happened between the last time that we had this workshop and what is happening on the ground now. And you would safely say that the place has transformed fourfold, and it's the transformation is at so many levels, and you would want to wonder if actually the transformation is in sync with actually the working class, the casual working class that used to that lives in Kalingalinga. And again, talking about transformation, you find that really the transformation is so quick that most of the spaces fear that most of the space is going to be taken over by the not the so indigenous, what do you say, the original owners of the space. There's actually more, how do you say, people being displaced, okay?
Yeah.
And that tells a big volume of a story about, the story of Kalingalinga. It's actually a very big story. And I don't know, for some reason, it happened as okay, we just had to find a venue, and it just happened to have in the right venue for all everything that is happening here.
Yeah. So do you want to talk a little, what I thought what might be quite interesting for the audience as well, to speak a little bit, why is it so important for us, or why is it so important for the photographers that were taking part, and also kind of what's kind of the benefits of doing these international collaborations? So if we maybe have a little bit of a conversation around that, I think that would be quite nice. Do you want to start us off with kind of some of the photographers we included, and what their backgrounds are? Maybe I should say, if people are interested in finding out more about the photographers, you see on this slide, you see QR codes, and these QR codes are leading you to the video interviews that we did with all of the participants. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about the Zambian photographers, and also about so then please click on these QR codes, and you can find out all the interviews on YouTube for the photographers. So tell us a little bit maybe about photography, about the photographers that took part and why they took part, and also the international collaboration.
Okay, the photographers that took part, first, maybe you might be interested in finding out the background of just the photography in general in Zambia. Okay, I think, there was a time when photography was vibrant, or it was almost taking root, but I don't know, due to various how do you say, various factors, I think it didn't take root as much as we had anticipated. So there's a point at which you get a feel that actually it had died down, or the zeal or the energy had gone away. And having to come up with these are for the photographers that took part in the workshop, Stories of Kalingalinga, and the consequent one, COVID-19, was an interesting process altogether, because we had to work with mostly people that haven't worked in photography but have been visual artists. Okay, and so again, it also speaks volumes about the interesting volumes about their interpretation of what it made it actually easier for us to interpret what the whole Stories of Kalingalinga was all about. In that most of them were already practicing visual artists, and maybe it's just a media of expression that actually changed. But otherwise, it has been very, very interesting, and working with visual artists transformed, come photographers and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was also quite interesting to have, to have photographers. So obviously we had kind of my research assistant with me as well, and I was taking photographs as well, and also speaking about how how photographers can collaborate and how interesting it is to discuss kind of different visual languages, and find new ways of interpreting how Africa is photographed, I think, as well. I think that's one of the things that was quite important to the project, was that we wanted to really find a voice of Zambian photographers, of people that have lived in Zambia, and have photographed their own stories, because especially Zambia being known for its tourism and for its mining, has a very narrow visual narrative that comes out of the country. So by encouraging photographers to look a little bit more broadly about what it is that they want to talk about in their own country, we really found interesting ways of interesting interpretations. So within that narrow story of Stories of Kalingalinga, and I think that really also gives us something to work with in the future to broaden out these narratives, and see how Zambians would like to be seen and want to photograph themselves. So how do you find kind of, in more general maybe rather than just Kalingalinga, but how important do you think, Geoffrey, is it to actually do international collaborations amongst artists?
You see, it's the importance. You can never take away the how fundamental it is that we talking about having to tell the story from our own I mean, telling us how our own stories, which hasn't been actually been the case. I think the portrayal of Zambia, I would say, just on Zambia on my part, has been kind of so much has been left undesired. I don't know, for lack of a better term. It's important to collaborate internationally. But why? Because really we're telling it the way we see it. Okay, and we also get to get a feel about how people react to our situation here, and really definitely now is we can't we live how do you say we need each other, okay?
Yeah.
We global village, and we just have a responsibility to tell it as it is from our end here, okay?
Yeah, and I think also for us, you know, kind of from like seeing it from the other side, being challenged to see Africa anew, especially in the current climate, I think where, you know, we are so aware that that visual narratives are also full of or can be also full of prejudice, and conceived ideas. So actually kind of allowing a new and through that collaboration, bringing together different voices to identify that there's so many options on how to represent Africa, and specifically Zambia, and then at that narrow point of Stories of Kalinga, when you look through the catalogue here, the interpretations are so broad, and so and I think what we always knew, that however many photographers you send into a project, as many interpretations you get. But I think this project was really a testament to that, these multitude of voices that we need to start hearing also from Zambia. Yeah.
Sure.
So maybe just very briefly now, because we're coming to the end of our conversation. So about the future plans of our collaboration, and also obviously Stories of Kalingalinga. You already kind of alluded to that we want to have a second leg of Stories of Kalingalinga. You want to speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So the idea is, in my preamble, I mentioned that I don't know, it happened as an accident. Okay, we're looking for a venue for subject matter, which was Kalingalinga, and actually it actually worked out like it was just like how do you say, like we knew what was going to happen in the future, and the transformation would be a very good story to tell about how where we started from to where we're at now. All the transformation that has happened between now and then is very is very massive. So actually, there's actually a very big story, and we just can't start a story without finishing a story. I think we need to start, and let's get to somewhere with it. And definitely, it's very vital that yeah, let's make a follow up workshop on the same.
Yeah.
We started already. Yeah.
I mean, one of the sad things about COVID-19 was kind of that we had actually planned for these exhibitions to go to Zambia in the summer, and obviously we were stopped by the pandemic. So we are really looking forward as well to showing this work in Zambia, and especially also in Kalingalinga, so that the people that were photographed by us and that were collaborating with us, that they have a chance to see this really astonishing piece of collaboration amongst all the Zambian photographers and also kind of us here in the UK. I think it will be a really nice thing to have an exhibition in the place where it's been photographed. And then we have other venues throughout Zambia as well. So we're going to show it in the Henry Tayali Gallery,
Yes.
which is the center of the Visual Arts Council. And it's also going to go to Livingston and maybe also to the Copper Belt. That one isn't fixed yet. But so it's going to be a touring exhibition in Zambia as well.
And what is actually very interesting is that our target is also to showcase the same exhibition in the location itself in Kalingalinga. And yeah, it would be interesting. I'm thinking that even just the reaction from the owners of the subject, people of Kalingalinga, it would be interesting to find how they react to how they were just about 2 years ago to where they are at now. Okay.
Yeah.
A reaction only, or just a reaction is enough subject matter for discussion for another day. You know?
Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you so much. And hopefully we're going to speak soon again. It was really wonderful to have this chat with you about the project. Thank you so much.